secular educated people and those who are graduates from madrasas. So these are some of the issues relating to Sharia law, and what was specifically asked was regarding the marriage of Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu anha. Now, the objection to the marriage of Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu anha was never found prior to the 1900s. The first objection to her marriage was found after the 1900s. So we would have to ask, why did this objection not exist prior? The answer is, anyone who studies anthropology, and you are in a secular university, you must have an anthropologist professor somewhere, you ask them that when you study cultures in anthropology, the standards of that culture are not you do not take the standards of the modern age and superimpose the standards of the modern age on a previous ancient culture. You do not judge an ancient culture in the standards of the modern age. This goes against the study of anthropology. So why was the objection to the marriage of Aisha radiallahu anha brought up only after the 1900s? The answer is very simple. Because in terms of international law in that time, women were regarded as women once they passed the age of puberty. This is a simple answer. Meaning, boys were considered men once they passed the age of puberty, and women were regarded as women once they passed the age of puberty. So girls who were 9 years old at the time were not considered as young girls, but were considered women. If this was not the case, then in Arabian customs at the time, when the Prophet ﷺ married Aisha radiallahu anha, the pagans would have objected to the marriage to Aisha radiallahu anha, but they did not. Why? Because Aisha radiallahu anha was considered a woman and not a child, an underage child. Meaning, what people term today as pedophilia. Pedophilia today would be defined as marrying someone who is a minor or underage. The age of consent today in Britain is 16, in Britain, 16 with the consent of parents and 18 without the consent of parents. In international law at that time, the woman was considered a woman at the age of 9. Why has this changed? This has changed with time because of the mental age of the children today. Meaning, in that time, the women were so advanced living in a Bedouin society that the young girls at a young age were able to adapt themselves so quickly that mentally they were women at the age of 9. Now the age itself is contested. The age of itself, even though in Bukhari the age 9 is mentioned very clearly. But remember, the ages, when they state age in that time, there is a companion of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who says he would lead his tribe in prayer when he was 7 years old. But the meaning is not 7, because we know a 7-year-old is not permitted to lead the prayer. What they would do is that there was a certain number of years that when a person would reach those years, they would count the years from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 plus 10 is 17. 9 plus 10 is 19. What the Jews do is when a child reaches the age of maturity, they also have this practice. They start counting the years of the person from that age, which is the age of puberty. So if someone counts the age from 9 of a girl, from the age of 9, if you add 9, it would make the age 18. If you add for a boy, if the boy reaches puberty at the age of 15, you add 7, the age would be 22. This was the method of counting. And some of them would not have, remember they had no birth certificates in those times, so they would estimate the age. So this is why many people now, of course, people like Tommy Robinson or other ignorances or people in the EDL or these type of groups latch onto this subject because of equating the Prophet of Islam, equating him, waliyadu billah, with the gangs, the pedophile gangs that we have in the UK. When in reality this is just done in order to discredit the religion of Islam. So the simple answer is that this objection has only arisen after post-1900s, this objection did not arise before. Does Islam sanction child marriage? The answer is no. That the marriage is carried out with the consent of the woman after she reaches the age of maturity. The age of maturity now can be redefined in accordance with modern standards because of the way of living, that in the Muslim world the age of maturity would be 16 or 18 as it is in Pakistan. In Pakistan the age of consent now is 18 in Pakistan. In Yemen the age of consent was only raised recently. So this shows that this practice has been continuing for hundreds of years, where young girls were considered women once they passed the age of puberty. Now, there are many other issues that can be covered, but I will finish here. And inshallah, we will open up for questions and answers. The people in the audience, they can stand up and ask their questions, or they can write down their questions.